My name is Linda. I'm a compulsive eater. Hi, everybody. I weigh my food from the gray sheet. I commit it to my sponsor. It is the most important thing in my life without exception. I see so many of my friends on tonight, or friends I haven't met yet, or friends I've heard, but I haven't seen your face or whatever. I've been abstinent since October 16th, 2010. So I just celebrated 10 years, but I've been in gray sheet a really long time. I came into Gray Sheet from another food fellowship where I was allowed to eat certain grains and starchy vegetables, and I couldn't understand why I kept losing my abstinence. And I remember just being so crazy. Even when I was technically abstinent, according to their guidelines, I was so insane. But I didn't know that I was drunk. I was just mildly drunk. But I did notice that when I ate certain starchy vegetables or grains, that I would either get groggy and sort of just want to fall asleep, or I would crave more. And I was in this constant state of craving and hunger, it felt like to me. I just never felt like it was enough. So I'm so grateful. I was slowly, starting with one food fellowship, then a more strict fellowship, and then gray sheet, which really I shouldn't even use the word strict because truthfully, there's so much freedom to me. The quantity of food on the menu on the gray sheet food plan, there's like so many different possibilities and combinations that I probably haven't even tried yet over the years. And I was excited about that when I saw the gray sheet. I wasn't so excited when I saw like one of this and one of this. I thought, oh my God. But then when I learned how to cook, and people showed me what a gray sheet meal really looked like and how to make it delicious and colorful and tasty, it was a totally different thing. And I don't know, everybody has their own yummies. I find like I sponsor a bunch of women and everybody has their own things they really like. But I think the thing for me was when I put the food on the scale, the first day of abstinence, I had 3 very basic, not exciting meals, but I was abstinent. And I remember going to bed thinking, oh my God, I was abstinent. I had 3 weighed and measured meals. They were committed to my sponsor. I don't have, guilt or shame, or did I have enough? Did I not have enough? I didn't have that going on in my head. And that was just so wonderful to me. So, I got abstinent here in Los Angeles. We had a very small handful of people from the East Coast that luckily were just here and started a meeting. One person started a meeting and then somebody else moved out and then somebody else. So there were really no locals. And, maybe one person, but she was from Canada actually. So, but we were lucky to have a few people from like New York and Boston and those communities to really carry the message about the origins of Gray Sheet. And my first sponsor was one of the original Boston, Cambridge people. And she's still abstinent today, decades. And she really taught me about discipline in that I had to call her at 4:00 in the morning because she lived in Boston and she had to get to work. And I had to call, whoops, oh my gosh, what happened here? Just a minute. I had to call at the right time. If I was late or early, forget about it. And she didn't want to hear about anything but my food. No feelings, no details, no, I wasn't even allowed to use those sweetener packets or gum or anything. She was very basic, like coffee, tea, just like the gray sheet says, coffee, tea, or diet soda. That was it. And my 3 meals and no, everything had to be, she just trained me. She said, get scales, get batteries, get backup, get phone numbers. In those days, we didn't have cell phones. We had, when I first came to Gray Sheet, this was like 1996 or 7. I think I had to, I'm not even sure. I think I had to use pay phones or something. I remember having quarters, carrying around quarters and being so panicky, like, oh my God, what if I can't get a hold of someone? And I think we had answering machines, so I wasn't allowed to get an answering machine. I had to get a live person. And, it's just different now. I mean, things have changed, I guess, and people do things a little differently, but that's kind of, how I was trained. And if there's a problem, you make a phone call. I was allowed to say no to anything that threatened my abstinence. They said, they called it the OA no. It's like, no, thank you. I'm not able to do that. No, thank you. I'm not available. I said that a lot. I didn't go to a restaurant for a long time. I didn't travel. A lot of people do, and that's great. I was just so terrified of losing what I had. And so I kept it really simple. I went swimming, I went to work, I went to a meeting. I'm in another fellowship, so I would go to another meeting at night, and that was it, and go to the market. And my life was very simple. My mother and my sister don't live here. At the time, my father was alive, but they all lived in Northern California. And my life I just tried to keep it very simple and very structured. And I had a certain time where I did everything. And so because I came in with many years of sobriety, I always had, a lot of experience with the 12 steps and meetings and service, and the things I needed to do to stay sober, I applied to my abstinence. But I feel like for me, Gray Sheet requires 10 times more than just not taking a drink or not taking a bite, because it's a complete way of life for me. It's not just about the food. It's so much about self-care. It's about setting boundaries. It's about having fun. It's about, life on life's terms. And I was thinking something the other day. I'm sorry if I'm being random. It's been kind of a crazy week, but I learned that to wait, because I had to wait for my meal, and I learned to wait. I learned that nothing bad was going to happen if I didn't eat right this minute. Like last night I was super hungry, and I offered to go get dinner for me and my boyfriend. And I really didn't want to, but I just wanted to do something nice for him. And I was really hungry. Nothing bad happened. I didn't get in a car accident. I got our food, got home. We had a nice dinner, and it was fine. I've never, nobody ever starved to death between meals. I heard that a lot. People die, of course, but not from starvation, not in Gray Sheet. And I was taught to get the biggest and the best, just to get the best, most high quality food I could, because I'm worth it. And today I bought myself really expensive fruit because I wanted it. And so I didn't, so what? So over the years, like right now I found that AWOLs, and I'm in a group now, Listen to God. Some of you are on here, which I'm really enjoying. I find that I just need to keep going deeper in my relationship with God. I look around me and I have some issues with, of course, things that are happening in my life some of them I don't like. Some of them I wish were different. But I feel like the more time I put into meditation in the morning, or prayer, or writing, or outreach, I think I made like 4 outreach calls today. I feel better. I don't get so wrapped up in myself. I used to hear that a lot in the beginning, that this is a disease of self-obsession and self-centeredness. I did not understand what they were talking about, believe me. When I got here, I got sober 35 years ago in Alcoholics Anonymous, and at the same time discovered I had a very, very bad eating disorder, because my sponsor was in the food fellowship, thank goodness. So God's always taken care of me my whole life. I just didn't know it. I didn't know it until I got into the rooms, that I had a wonderful higher power who really wants the best. And it's not always what I want, but it's what I need. And that's another thing I've learned that's so important. I don't always get what I want. It's what I need, in all areas of my life. If you told me to choose this, that, or the other thing, I would have made so many mistakes. So, so over the time, and also I just want to say my weight's been the same for 10 years. I fluctuate about 2 pounds, maybe 3 at the most, which I find, I used to have 3 different sizes of clothing in my closet. And I had a lot of sweatpants, sweatshirts that were big. And then I would have these skinny mini clothes that were ridiculous. Now I have one size and everything fits me. I'm 66 though, and my body has changed. Like I might be the same weight, but things have shifted. And I'm okay with it. Like, okay, well, so what, what am I going to do about it? I don't really exercise that much anymore. I'm just not that interested. I wish I was, but I used to be so compulsive about it. And I think it was very, no, it wasn't like it was my higher power, but I like had to do it, or else I couldn't, I don't know. I just was nuts. And over the years, those things have changed, and I'm grateful. I think I'm just much more calm and much more present in my life as a result. I also stopped using caffeine, all forms of caffeine and decaf about 10 months ago. So that's been a big change for me too. And it wasn't a moral issue. It was making me feel crazy. I found out it was just kind of a neurotoxin for me. So um, I so I retired. I was a teacher in the public schools for a very long time, over 30 years, and I enjoyed it and I did a good job. And I retired when my father died, which was very traumatic. That was probably the most traumatic thing I've been through in my abstinence. Was when my father passed away. So my mom said it's been almost 6 years, which is amazing. But I basically just cried for a long time, and I just stayed abstinent, and I showed up for him every day in the hospital when he was dying. It was a very tragic situation. I had never felt that kind of grief or pain in my life. I've had that about dogs. When dogs go, I'm very connected to pets. I love dogs. And so I was on a meeting early this morning, and 3 people shared that they lost a pet. And I really understood that. I really got it, that they were in very bad, deep grief about the loss of their pet. And I've lost a lot of friends this year. It's been strange. I've been to a lot of memorials this year, and a couple from COVID, couple not, I've found that I'm trying really hard not to react to what's going on, like outside issues, and really keep it away from my life and my abstinence, but it's becoming kind of unavoidable. And I try really hard not to. I'm working on not reacting. I used to react by eating or starving or.
Excuse me, I
Yes.
apologize. I can't remember ever doing this before, but I forgot to push start.
Oh
So
my gosh.
Lisa or Laura or Grania, do you have any idea about, and I apologize, I will try my best to never let this happen again.
I have no idea. Does
Okay,
it?
so you want to say five,
I'll say 3
five
more
more?
minutes will be
Yeah.
15.
Okay. Yeah, 5 more. I promise to always push send. I commit
No
to it.
worries. Please don't worry about it. It's something I would do. I totally understand. So anyway, that's good, because now God will just put whatever I'm supposed to say next. I have no idea. I kind of want to talk about my emotional maturity or lack of. But another thing I found, that when I got here, because I ate for so many years, I really was very childish in my emotions. And I really, I reacted kind of like a little girl instead of an adult woman, even though I'm technically chronologically an adult woman. But I would have all these little girl feelings, and I didn't know what to do with them. And now I just sort of ask God, help me just to do this correctly. Help me do the right thing. Help me to take care of myself and also be of service. So after my father died, I retired from teaching, and I got into some creative endeavors, which I really enjoyed. I got into making quilts for homeless people with a small group of women. And that was really wonderful until COVID. Now we can't get together. But I started sewing again, which is something I really enjoyed. So now I've been making masks for people. I make these lovely masks and I mail them to people or give them away. Or I made like 200 masks, I think, this year. And I also connected with a man in AA we met 4 years ago, but we started dating. It'll be almost 3 years, which I can't even believe, because my relationship history is like, I don't even know. I can't even think of the word, but it's not my strong suit. Okay. Intimacy is not my strong suit. If I'm uncomfortable, I run, period. That's it. I just can't. If I'm not comfortable, I leave. And I've always done that. and I was married for 10 years. When I got sober, our relationship didn't work because he was still drinking. We left amicably, split up. That was a long time ago. So I was alone for a long time. I've had several boyfriends, but nothing really remarkable because I didn't really choose people that were appropriate. So, but also I want to say God puts people in my life completely random. I asked this man to fix my microwave or install a microwave or something, I don't know. And we ended up becoming really good friends, and because he was over at my house all the time fixing things. And then, you know, we started dating almost New Year's Eve will be 3 years. And he's really a really nice guy. I have to tell you what he did. There's a certain protein that I absolutely love. Okay. It comes in strips. And there's a certain brand that doesn't have sugar. Well, my market has been sold out of it. It's a chain market here. It's called Ralph's. They've been sold out of it now for 5 days. Okay. And I've been going a little nuts. So yesterday or the day before, so everyone sold out. He went to 2 different ones in our area. So the other day he went out of his way completely like across town to see if this one store had it. And he walked in and talked to the butcher and they had 1 package left. So he bought it and he goes, "Are you sure you don't have any more? I'll buy whatever you have." And he came home and he hid it behind his back and I thought it was flowers. And he put it in the fridge. I thought, this is really weird. So I opened the fridge and he had it like standing face up so I couldn't miss it. And I was screaming with joy and I hugged him and I kissed him and he's like, "Oh my God, like who gets excited over a package of protein strips?" I do. I thought that was the most loving thing. I couldn't even like, I know you guys understand, but he's such a good gray sheet boyfriend. Like he didn't want me to be without my protein. So anyway, fast forward. So we've been together. We live here actually. And he has 3 beautiful grandchildren. When I met him, he had 2. Now he has 3 and the baby is to die for. I never, ever thought, you guys, I would have grandchildren in my life. They call me grandma. It's so bizarre. I just never, ever in a million years thought that would be happening. And they live like 15 minutes away. And I found out, I guess it's an outside issue, but it's kind of exciting. But one of the vice presidential candidates lives in my neighborhood, like 2 miles away. So I like want to stake out her house on Tuesday. But his daughter and son-in-law are really, you know, really fun people. And I've had to allow myself to get close to people. I've had to allow love into my life, which has been very difficult. It's been something I never anticipated, like being uncomfortable with. And
Excuse me,
So-
that's 5 minutes.
okay, so is that 15 altogether? That
No, you're done.
I'm done. Great. Okay, that's perfect timing because I feel kind of like randomy anyway. So thank you so much, Carla, for inviting me to share. And I'm going to mute myself so I can listen to everybody else. Okay. Thank you all so much.